Okay, so in the last video I gave you some tips on how you could actually think of what it is that you can turn your passion or hobby into in terms of services or products that you could sell or create that's going to be the focal point of your business. So I decided to do the exercise too. I think it's more effective if I'm actually doing this program with you. It'll show you that it's actually possible as well. So here's my 20 things. I decided to do art. It's actually for a friend of mine. He's an artist and he's not too sure how he could monetize it, so I decided to use his passion as an example. So he's a traditional artist. He likes to work with, a bunch of mediums. He likes to paint, he likes to use markers, and he just loves to draw. It's just his passion in life, and he's very talented. So I came up with a list. I think it's about 25 here. As you can see, I just wrote things that came to mind. So make prints. He could, make prints of his art, sell commissions, create album art. See, this sort of stuff is just random nonsense that I still included because it might spark more ideas. So I wrote car tattoos. Maybe he could paint on cars, tattoos on people, graffiti, custom shoes. Shoes are a big thing right now, so he could customize people's shoes for them. Some crazier ones is maybe manage a team of artists. He could actually have the first art team. I'm not sure how that would make money, but again, it was just me unfiltered going through writing ideas down. He could help people become professional artists and teach them how they could get their stuff in galleries. He could buy and sell art. He could make clothing, publish art books, have an art blog, and make art for concerts. Again, it's some wild stuff. And I even wrote that he could go to art galleries, although that doesn't really make sense. Again, I just want to show you the ideas, just to write down whatever pops into your mind and write it down. And for this example, because some of you might have products that you want to sell, some of you might have services, so it may be different. So from this, I chose 3 things. You should choose 1, but I chose 3 in this case. The first thing I chose, just to show you guys, is make prints. So this would actually be a physical product. He would make prints and sell them. So this is a product. Or it could be intangible, but it's still a product because he's making prints and selling them. Second could be decorating items in houses. Maybe someone wants him to draw on a wall. You could start a business doing that. This is kind of in between. It's almost a product and a service because you'd actually have to be doing a service, but as well you're creating something. And the third, which would be a pure service, which is to teach art. So there's 3 examples. This is a service, this is a somewhere in between, and this is a pure service. So I wanted to give you examples of how you could go about doing this. Now that we have 3 ideas, we still want to focus and narrow it down, because there's a million ways that we can make prints or decorate people or even teach art. So what I have here is, I guess this applies for a product or a service. You want to think, how do I manifest this into something that's a reality? So let's go over the first one, make prints. So can I make it myself? I mean, yes, you could. Either you can go to a print shop, get a printer, or you can I think you could even use DeviantArt, use a third party to fulfill your orders. Can I get others to do it? I guess that would be this one. You could get a third party to fulfill orders. Where can I do it? This you could easily do at home. Or if you need to, you could go to a print shop. And how can the customer receive it? You could do electronic prints via a website, or ship out actual paper. So here we're just narrowing down the possibilities by first going broad and then narrowing down. So let's say I actually just want to I actually want to print out the art and ship it, because I think it's more special that way. That way they can hang it, and maybe their friends could see it and they could recommend it. I think it makes art more real in a sense when you actually can see it in your living room. That's just my personal bias though. So let's go with that one. So for that, we can either go to a print shop or get a printer. And can I get others to do it? Yeah, I guess the print shop in this case could print my art for me. Where can I do it? Again, if I get a printer, I can do it at home, or I could do it at the print shop. And how can the customer receive it? I guess I'll have to ship it out to them. So we want to start thinking the pros and cons now of getting a printer and doing it, or going to a print shop. And let's just go through the sourcing of both. So let's say I want to source it through a print shop. I can just simply look up print shops near me. Perfect. And looks like there's Teak Printing Service, Allegra Marketing Print Mail, and Tac Print. So these are 3 options here that I could go and get printing done. And there's also here the best 10 printing services in Markham. I could go to FedEx. FedEx is a bit more expensive. Copy, Empress Paper Crafts. Let's say I just want to go to the ones that have the best ratings. So this one and copy. So now I have their number, I have their website, and from here I can just give them a call and ask them, hey, I have this thing I want to start. I'm just gonna make some prints. Can you just give me a quote if I just do maybe 100, or maybe if you could always work out a deal with them as well. Try to make out a deal. If I get some orders in, and if you guys can print them like one by one, could you like work out some deal with me? Because I don't know which prints will sell, and that way you can lower your risk. But of course these guys are benefiting because they also are getting your business. You're doing your printing with them. So it's not that complicated. I mean, I don't think there's much to talk about. I had my 20, just to go over 20 ideas. For this particular example, I wanted to make prints, and if I wanted to go the route of getting a print shop to get the prints done, I could just go to copy or Empress Paper, just ask them, see what their quotes are like. Maybe we can work out some sort of deal, and either get a bunch of things printed out beforehand, or talk to them and say, hey, I want to do like a print on demand sort of business with my art. Could you assist me with that? And yeah, it's really that simple. Now it is simple, but it's going to take some time. So you want to really think about, how do you want to do this? Do you want to do it yourself? Do you want other people to get it? That's why I find that these questions help me. Can I make it myself? Can I get others to do it? Where can I do it? And how can the customer receive it? Don't focus too much on the micro things I'm doing, like going on Yelp and using Google search. Focus on the big picture. So you want to focus on these criteria and start to manifest your idea. This is crucial. Now, what are some more sources that you could use to actually source your things? For example, where could I, if I wanted to print myself, where could I buy a printer? Or where could I buy paper for a printer? Or where could I find people to do this for me? I mean, Google is obviously an amazing tool for finding local people, but I just wanted to share some more sources that could help you to actualize your product or service. So one of my personal favorites is Aliexpress. There's Alibaba and there's Aliexpress. Now I like Aliexpress because you can easily order stuff immediately. There's no back and forth. There's no quotes or anything like that. You can just buy things. So let's say I want to get some paper. I want to get some bigger paper. So 11 by 17 paper. 17 paper that I want to print my prints on. So let me see if they actually have anything like that. Printing paper. Don't. Oh, they have some light transfer paper. Oh, that's for t-shirts. They may not actually have it here. Any printing paper. They have all sorts of stuff though, which is interesting. But AliExpress is basically a marketplace that goes from China to the rest of the world, and you can easily search up whatever you need to. Oh, so you could look up A4 printing paper, it seems. Oh, looks like this is just transfer paper. Oh, here you go. So there's some film paper. Maybe if I want to print on film. So again, you can. I don't know if that would actually use that, but this place you can instantly buy items. So you have a price here. So 5 pieces is $2.44 US. You can actually change your currency too. I'm in Canada, so I might want to change to Canada. And it's just a warehouse of awesome stuff that you can buy here. If you wanted to buy some t-shirts, they have a bunch of t-shirts you could buy. If you want to, whatever sources or things that you might need, let's say you want to buy some craft paper bags to maybe put your art into, you can buy a bunch of those. So this is a great place to find like wholesale items and items for cheap that will help your business. You can get all sorts of stuff here, and it's a really good site. Now Alibaba is more for it's not really a marketplace, but it's where you actually look for suppliers. So you could here, if we actually search printing paper, I'm sure we'll get a whole bunch of results. So yeah, there's a bunch of like Flexo paper. I don't even know what that is. We just need plain paper. But these are actual suppliers and manufacturers that you'd be talking to. So Shaoxing County Shenny Decorations. Let's click that name there. And you contact these suppliers here and actually get quotes for what you need. Now with Alibaba is, because it's not a marketplace, I can't just buy this. Even if I really like this stuff, I can't just buy it right away. I have to contact the supplier, or I guess this is a new feature, request a sample. So it's not as immediate. With Aliexpress, whatever I need to start my business, I can just buy immediately on the site. Like if I wanna, if I just need some paper, yeah, sure, maybe I need these envelopes. I can just order them right away. But for you just press buy now or add to cart. For Alibaba, you have to actually talk to the suppliers. So this is more of a place where you can talk to the suppliers. Of course, that gives you more control over the whole process. You can get things exactly how you want it. And my recommendation, though, is when you're first starting off, is use Aliexpress when you can. It just makes things way faster. But for custom things, Alibaba is definitely the way to go, because these are the actual manufacturers and suppliers of large companies. Now, a couple tips for dealing with people on Alibaba. Most of them don't speak the best English because they're all going to be in China. So you want to make sure that you want to be patient with them. Their English is not the best. Sometimes it may take longer back and forth. As well, you see here a lot of suppliers have this minimum order quantity for a lot of items. However, I find that not everyone is so stringent on them. A lot of people, I think it's like 50-50. Some, like this person here, has a minimum order quantity of 1,000 meters. But you can always give it a shot. If you only need, let's say, 10 meters or 100 meters, you can always just contact the supplier and ask them, hey, I just want to make a small sample order. How much could you charge me? And then just go back and forth with that. And you could also sort, I believe, for minimum quantity. So let's say you want a minimum order quantity of 100. You can just enter it here. And I prefer to deal with people who are at gold suppliers. You see this gold supplier. It means that they have a pretty good rating, and they're well trusted on the website. Also, with Alibaba, a lot of companies may not accept the common forms of payment we use here, like PayPal, because their company is overseas. So you also want to contact and ask them, do you accept PayPal? How do you accept payments? It's crucial that you work that stuff out. You may not be comfortable sending them Western Union or money orders because it's your first time dealing with them. You're going to have to go through several, probably, suppliers back and forth to find someone who can actually do the job for you for whatever it is you need, whether it's paper, like bracelets. These are all products, obviously, but they do a whole wide range of them. And this is just small examples. Like, they have literally categories for almost every single thing you can think of, like auto, apparel, electronics. It's just crazy. Another great place to find things that you may need is Fiverr. So whatever you need to make your product or service a reality, you can always use Fiverr as well. Fiverr, the catch here is that everything is $5. I mean, this is in Canadian, so it's a bit more, but you can get a whole bunch of stuff done for $5. Let's say you need someone to make you a review video even. Someone can do a review video for you. Let's say you need a logo done for your business. You can get someone to do it for $5. So it's a great website for sourcing little things like that to help get your business and passion started. So that's pretty much wraps up the product side of things. I kept it very general because there's a wide range of things you may do. So I just wanted to keep it as general as possible and give you some sources that you could use to actually make your product a reality. So once again, what we went over in this video is we went through our list of ideas. We narrowed down the idea, not that page, but we narrowed down the idea here. So make prints or teach or decorate. These are some 5 questions I asked myself. Can I make it myself? Can I get others to do it? Where can I do it? And how can the customer receive it? And I showed you some sources you could use. There's Fiverr, Alibaba, Aliexpress, and of course your best friend Google to actually source and find ways to make your product or service a reality. So that's it for this segment. Actually, before I end it, let me just go over a service segment. So teach art. What are some ways that you could teach art? Can you make it yourself? Sure, you could have a little educational course that you write down yourself. Can you get others to do it? I guess technically, yeah, you could actually just start maybe a home office at your house and have people who you know who do art to teach art in your home. So it's like it's basically like your little own art school. Now, where can I do it? You could do it at home. Or you could do an online course where you actually just make videos of yourself doing art and share it with people. Or you could even go to people's houses and teach them privately, do like private art tutoring. And how can the customers receive it? I guess you could do it at your house, you could do it at their house, or you could do an online art course. So that's a quick way to narrow down and focus how exactly you're going to manifest what you want to do into reality. Now again, this is very simple, very short video. You're going to actually want to do some critical thinking. Don't overthink, don't overanalyze, but again, do make those decisions of what your product or service is actually going to be and how you're going to actually deliver it to people. That's pretty much it for this video. On to the next video, we'll actually get into the meat and bones of how you're going to advertise and market all this, which is your website.